Softs and shorts refers to takeoffs and landings made from soft or short runways or fields. We'll begin with takeoffs from a short runway. You just looked at predicting flight performance, and now you'll see how what you've learned can be applied to maximum performance takeoffs. This is because taking off and climbing from fields where the takeoff area is short or the available takeoff area is restricted by obstructions requires that the pilot operate the airplane at the limit of its takeoff performance capabilities. To depart from such an area safely, a pilot must control attitude and airspeed so that takeoff and climb performance results in the shortest ground roll and the steepest angle of climb. In order to accomplish maximum performance takeoff safely, the pilot must be familiar with the use and effectiveness of the best angle of climb speed and best rate of climb speed for the airplane. The best angle of climb speed, known as Vx, is the speed that produces the greatest gain in altitude for a given distance over the ground. The best rate of climb speed, known as Vy, is the speed that produces the greatest gain in altitude per unit of time. These are just two of the V speeds that can be found in the pilot's operating handbook for your airplane. When making a short field takeoff, start as close to the beginning of the takeoff area as possible. Be serious about this. Make every inch of runway count. Also, set flaps as recommended by the manufacturer before starting the takeoff roll. There is no extra benefit to lowering flaps on the roll just prior to takeoff. After getting lined up with the intended takeoff path, advance up to allowable or maximum takeoff power before you release the brakes. During the takeoff roll, adjust the airplane's pitch attitude and angle of attack to provide minimum drag and allow the fastest acceleration. Let the airplane accelerate on the main wheels until just before reaching the best angle of climb speed. Then, firmly apply back elevator pressure until airborne and maintain a straight climb at the best angle of climb speed until obstacles have been cleared, or, if you have no obstacles in the way, until reaching at least 50 feet above the ground. Then, lower the pitch attitude to attain the best rate of climb speed. Once firmly established at the best rate of climb speed and at a safe maneuvering altitude, retract the flaps. Do this slowly to prevent settling. Don't try to pull the airplane off the ground too soon or once off to climb at too steep an angle. Such actions can cause the airplane to settle back to the runway or into obstacles. A short field approach and landing, especially over obstacles, presents a unique challenge. In a normal landing, you gradually reduce but leave adequate power on until you're sure you can make the field. Power is usually then reduced to idle as you set up to land in the first third of the runway. In order to land safely in a short field, you have to use a low-speed, power-on type of approach right to touchdown. Such an approach and landing is required because you must control the rate of descent and airspeed accurately. In doing so, you minimize floating during the roundout and touch down at the slowest possible airspeed so you can get stopped in the shortest possible distance. Start your final approach around 500 feet above the point where you want to touch down. The use of full flaps is usually recommended. Next, adjust the power and pitch attitude to maintain the manufacturer's recommended approach speed. If one is not stated, use not more than 1.3 times the power-off stalling speed with gear and flaps full down as the approach speed for your airplane. You don't want a high airspeed, but rather the lowest airspeed consistent with safe operating procedure for this maneuver. Use power and pitch together. If you feel you're too high, reduce power and lower the pitch attitude to increase the descent without increasing airspeed. If too low, increase power and raise the pitch attitude to slow the rate of descent without lowering airspeed. Don't get to an excessively low airspeed. If you do get too slow, you may find that adding full power and increasing pitch may only increase the rate of descent. What happens is that you get the angle of attack so great and creating so much drag that even with full takeoff power, you can't stop the descent. When this occurs, you are operating in the area of reverse command, or as it's more commonly called, the backside of the power curve. You don't want to get into this situation, so watch that airspeed.
Touch down in an attitude that will produce a power-off stall when you reduce the power to idle. Don't reduce the power too soon before touchdown, or you may drop in and get a very hard landing. Once on the ground, simultaneously reduce power to idle, hold the elevator control full back, and firmly apply the brakes. This maneuver, when done correctly, will enable you to stop in the shortest distance possible.